Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Ferrari faces a decisive moment this Wednesday at Mugello as the Italian team finally puts its highly anticipated new rear suspension for the SF25 to the test on track. After weeks of intense development and countless hours of simulation, the team is eager to validate what has so far been described as very promising results. According to Motorsport Italia, the simulations with the updated suspension showed significant performance gains, particularly in stability and tire management, 2 of the SF25's most criticized weaknesses this season. The initial data suggests the potential for a lap time improvement of approximately 0.1 seconds per lap. While that may sound modest, in the ultra-competitive world of Formula One, it could be the difference between challenging for podiums or settling for the midfield. The upgrade is entirely mechanical rather than aerodynamic, meaning the focus has been on improving how the car handles under braking, through mid-corner transitions, and in acceleration zones. Ferrari's engineers believe this new suspension design will give drivers Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton a more consistent and predictable platform to extract performance, especially in longer stints where tire degradation has plagued the team all season. This Wednesday's test involves completing 200 kilometers with the upgraded setup. Both Leclerc and Hamilton are slated to drive the SF25 to provide feedback from their differing styles. Leclerc's aggressive turn-in and Hamilton's preference for a stable rear-under traction will offer Ferrari a comprehensive assessment of how the update performs under race-like conditions. If the results live up to the expectations set by the simulations, Ferrari plans to debut the new rear suspension as early as the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. This timing would give them a crucial weapon in the fight against McLaren, Mercedes, and a still dangerous Red Bull in the second half of the season. Moreover, the team sees this development as more than just a stopgap for 2025. With the sweeping regulation changes coming in 2026, including the introduction of Ferrari's new power unit and updated chassis rules, the insights gained from this suspension design could inform their next-generation car. Essentially, this isn't just about clawing back time now. It's about laying the groundwork for Ferrari's future competitiveness. However, Ferrari's rivals are not standing still. McLaren continues to impress with its rapid in-season development. Red Bull, despite a rough patch, remains a threat with Verstappen's brilliance, and Mercedes seems to have found stability with its updated concept. For Ferrari, delivering on this rear suspension upgrade is crucial if they want to avoid becoming the 4th best team in what has evolved into a fierce 4-way battle. The stakes are clear. Success at Mugello could put Ferrari back in the conversation for race wins and potentially shift the momentum in a season that has, so far, offered flashes of brilliance but lacked consistency. Failure, however, might force the team to divert its focus entirely to 2026 even earlier than planned. So what do you think? Will Ferrari's new suspension deliver the breakthrough they need to challenge for victories more consistently? Or is it too late for Maranello to claw its way back into the fight this year? Could this be the first step toward a true resurgence, or just another missed opportunity? Yuki Tsunoda's days at Red Bull appear to be numbered. According to sources from GP Blog, the Austrian team has decided not to retain the Japanese driver beyond the 2025 season. If Max Verstappen remains with Red Bull, he is set to get a new teammate for 2026. It's worth remembering that Tsunoda was promoted from the Racing Bulls, formerly AlphaTauri, to the senior Red Bull racing team earlier this season, replacing Liam Lawson after just 2 races. The move was seen as a gamble, intended to inject fresh energy and potentially push Verstappen in a way that Perez and Lawson hadn't. However, after 10 races, the results have been underwhelming. Tsunoda has scored only one 9th-place finish, while the rest of his races have left him outside the points. Red Bull's internal evaluation reportedly reflects disappointment. The team had hoped that Tsunoda's fiery racing style and growth during his years with AlphaTauri would translate into stronger performances. But instead, the experiment seems to have fallen short, leading to the decision to part ways at the end of 2025. Despite the lackluster results, Tsunoda will likely stay in the car until the season finale. Meanwhile, his management is actively exploring options for 2026. One of the most likely destinations? Aston Martin. With Honda becoming Aston Martin's engine supplier in 2026, the Japanese manufacturer, which has been instrumental in Tsunoda's F1 career from day one, could leverage its influence to secure him a testing or reserve role. This would at least keep Tsunoda connected to the F1 paddock and Honda's long-term plans. Cadillac, another potential home for displaced drivers, appears to have shifted its focus toward other names, such as Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, and Mick Schumacher. Further down the grid, opportunities also seem scarce for Tsunoda. Teams like Haas or Williams haven't shown strong interest so far, meaning his sixth season in Formula One could very well be his last as a full-time driver. This situation highlights just how cutthroat Formula One can be. Tsunoda, once hailed as Japan's great hope for a new generation of fans, now faces an uncertain future. His raw talent and aggressive driving style have been praised in the past, but consistency has always been his Achilles heel. The Red Bull environment, infamous for its brutal performance expectations, has given him little room for error. On the flip side, some argue Tsunoda has never truly had the right machinery to showcase his full potential. At AlphaTauri, he was frequently hampered by underperforming cars. Now at Red Bull, he's up against a benchmark like Verstappen, making even competent drives appear mediocre by comparison. Could it be that with a supportive team and competitive car, Tsunoda might yet deliver on the promise Honda saw in him years ago? As the F1 silly season heats up, Tsunoda's fate will depend on more than just his on-track results. Honda's backing remains his strongest asset, but with younger talents rising rapidly through the feeder series and teams increasingly prioritizing proven consistency, the window of opportunity is closing fast. So what do you think? Has Tsunoda's time in F1 run its course? And should Red Bull have cut ties earlier? Or do you believe he still has untapped potential and deserves another shot with a team that can give him the tools to succeed? Could Aston Martin's Honda partnership be the lifeline that keeps him on the grid? Per Gunter AO ChatGPT. Hey friends, what's up? Big news today about Cadillac's entry into Formula One and the drivers who are expected to lead the American team's debut in 2026. Over the past few months, there's been a lot of speculation about who would get the two coveted seats, with names like Valtteri Bottas, Sergio Perez, Felipe Drugovich, Mick Schumacher, and Colton Herta in the mix. Cadillac made it clear from the start that their goal was to announce at least one of their drivers by mid-season and ideally pair an experienced veteran with a promising young talent. Well, while nothing is official yet, a huge update dropped this Tuesday. According to Auto Evolution, and now echoed across motorsport media worldwide, Sergio Perez is set to be announced as Cadillac's first official driver right after the Hungarian Grand Prix, the last race before Formula One's summer break. The report claims that Perez's deal was facilitated directly by Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim, who has supported Checo throughout much of his career, including during his time with Red Bull. For Cadillac, signing Perez would check several key boxes: an experienced racer with 4 career victories, a runner-up finish in the Drivers' Championship, and 2 Constructors' titles as part of Red Bull's dominant campaigns. Even though his exit from Red Bull in 2024 was far from smooth, Perez's knowledge of working within a top-tier team could prove invaluable to Cadillac as they aim to establish themselves quickly in F1. At 35 years old, Perez would fulfill Cadillac's desire for a seasoned leader to guide the team through its first seasons under the sport's radically new 2026 regulations. His ability to develop a car and mentor a younger teammate could be crucial, particularly as Cadillac integrates into a highly competitive field. As for the second seat, Auto Evolution reports that the decision appears to be narrowing to 2 candidates: Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher. Bottas, currently a reserve driver for Mercedes, remains the frontrunner. The Finnish driver brings a decade of F1 experience, 10 Grand Prix victories, and a reputation as a reliable and consistent performer. However, Bottas is also in discussions with Alpine, which could complicate Cadillac's plans. If Bottas chooses Alpine, that could open the door for Mick Schumacher. The young German, son of 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher, has been quietly rebuilding his career in the World Endurance Championship and was recently spotted in meetings with Cadillac executives. Mick's determination to return to F1 and his marketability could make him an attractive option for a brand like Cadillac looking to make a splash. The timeline for official announcements is reportedly set for the coming weeks, with Cadillac aiming to confirm both drivers no later than the F1 summer break. With this move, Cadillac would be following a similar approach to Audi's F1 entry, pairing experience with youth to build a foundation for long-term success. But there's still a lot of intrigue about how this lineup will shape up. Will Cadillac go all in on experience with Perez and Bottas? Or will they gamble on Schumacher's potential alongside Checo's proven capabilities? So what do you think? Is a pairing of Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas the perfect choice to lead Cadillac's F1 adventure? Or would you prefer to see them bet on youth, perhaps with Mick Schumacher, or even a bold wildcard like Colton Herta? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who should Cadillac trust to take them into their first season at the pinnacle of motorsport?